What is up, y'all? What's up? Sorry. Can you guys see me? As W by cracks low of day. Remember, Chinese pumps, guys. Chinese pumps. You guys can't see me? Or you can see me and hear me? What's up, Lee? What's up, Craig? How's everyone doing this morning? We got a potential one hold on a Chinese pump this morning on WBUY. Okay. It is a Chinese pump. It's doing a ton of volume. There's really almost nothing else to trade at the moment in terms of small cap land this morning. Just so you know. So I'm tempted to actually on this breakdown take a stab at one, just back towards a $1.10, $1.15, $1.20. And I'm actually watching price action right now. Let's do that. Okay, first off, it topped off into daily resistance. It is a Chinese pump. But we have seen these all week go berserk, right? So that's the only reason. And with the volume it's trading, I wouldn't mind just giving it a little stab. Okay. You know, very, very simply put. You can see how heavy bid and ask is for now. Oh, sorry, run my scan. Or no, we're not. Where we need to be. Okay, cool. There we go. Sorry, 1 second, fam. Remember, these things, these Chinese pumps are just very dilutive at the end of the day. Very dilutive all the time. Or someone's got shares to dump, right? If you look at the daily chart, every single push you get shares dumped into. Okay. And just for reference, we can actually go check that out really quick as this dumps. It is testing buck. It could very well hold $1 for now. We're going to have a lot of shorts covering as well. So there will be some buying volume here in the low ones. 85-cent support and buck support from pre-market. So you could make a strong case for a decent bounce, which is all I'd really be looking for. It's a Chinese pump, right? CJMB hitting my scan. I can tell you just off the top of my head, my experience, they're Chinese. I believe. I could be wrong. But I think CJMB is Chinese. That's a multi-day chart too. If you look, it's like a multi-day run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 5 of this push since volume came in a few days ago. 50 million shares, so not no shares, right? So this is a multi-day push on what I believe is Chinese. Are they Chinese, fam? I'm late to this party. I don't want to chase through highs necessarily, but this has the makings of something potentially, at least. CJMB. Their 15-minute. It's USA. Okay. I stand corrected then, my friend. Which isn't the end of the world. But again, this is kind of the beginning of this move, potentially. We've been seeing 1,000% moves this week. And most of them have kind of have not necessarily come from the scan, right? They've been kind of more random in nature. What's up, Steven? Nevi? Is this working, guys? Are we live? You guys okay? Sky Q, right? It's Thursday. What we're seeing is this Chinese momentum just spilling into whatever at the moment. Okay. That's a wacky chart on SkyQ. It's a breakout chart too in the 5s, but it's not a volatile, it's not a very volatile chart. Obviously today we've got something nice going on here. It's a breakout, right? These are the kind of charts I'm not necessarily trading. No edge chasing this up here. Doesn't mean in this market environment this can't go to like the 5s or 10s or who knows, right? But SkyQ American Oil Company, US Oil is up. It is. It is. SkyQ reopened their refinery, no real ties to China. Thank you, brother or sister. I love it. Thank you. Remember ultimately what you're trading right now, guys and gals, which is Chinese pumps and dump. They're pump and dumps. Okay? They're pump and dumps. So stay safe. SkyQ is an ugly ass chart for me. Like it's a very strong small cap chart from the ones. But the charts that I trade on the days that they're going to do something for me with volume are the opposite. Okay? In fact, I believe we traded this move back here. This is the part of the move that I'm looking for, not this where it's already getting extended. Does that make sense? Can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully you can hear me okay. But the part that I trade is actually this part. Understood? Where volume comes in, whoever's been dumping shares for however long is done dumping has accumulated probably a lot of shares and needs volume now and a higher price to make a lot of money or to get their money out of the markets. Does that make sense? That's the game. So on a daily basis, like when I get to a daily chart like SkyQ, I ignore it. It's a breakout. If it goes super parabolic, maybe first green day bounce, or maybe there's a short sell at some point. Okay. Yeah, but that's a beautiful third day surge. Beautiful. We might have even spoken about it the way these lines are set up. We might have even spoken about it on one of our webbies. I think we did. If you go back to like the 22nd of June, I might have been live, but that's a beautiful third day surge. Okay. Okay. Okay, quickly. Weekday, protect day. I took a few trades this week. Nothing too crazy, but a couple $100 on my smaller account is good. And we'll go through those trades here in a little bit. When we're done checking out the morning action. Okay. So as you can see, scans quite a bit slower this morning. Just quite a bit slower in general. Okay. Quite a bit slower. In terms of what we're seeing on, what do we have? ADVB again. SkyQ, LGCL, CJMB, and EH Go. Obviously, W buy, if it can hold a buck, maybe it can do something, but here's W buy, all right? DBUY. Here's the actual chart itself with supply on the chart, okay? They've got a convert floor of 3 cents. Okay, so WBUI can convert shares all the way down to 3 cents. Right? And it actually is what they want, believe it or not. This is going to go there on WBUI. This will go to 3 cents. Do you understand that? Like, it was already down at 60, but it'll go towards that at least. It'll go towards that because that's the floor. Understood? Behind that, there's 33 million warrants in the money right now already. Okay? That means at any point, 33 million shares. Think about that. Think about that amount of shares. That's a lot. Okay. And that's straight from the filings. Okay. Resale basis 88 cents. They've got warrants of 0.001, 0.0001. That's, and a convert floor of 3 cents. It's like not good. Okay. Doesn't mean it can't go up. That's what they're doing. It must go up so that they can sell with volume. They've done 137 million shares today, right? Gapped it up to $1.30, and right now it's at $1.05. And if they want to keep churning volume, they'll hold a buck, right? And they can keep selling shares. But you can see a supply ladder. We built this, by the way. This is something I've personally built as a tool for myself, and now my students are using it as well. But very visually, right? We've got an S1, we're in it. We've got some warrants that the converts, they're in the money already. And some equity line stuff remaining, okay? What's cool too is if you come in and click, it'll bring you to that, whatever that filing is, and then you can go in and actually just check the filing yourself, which is cool. I'm stoked about this. So actually what I've done is I've got my AI connected to it. So right now it's actually going through BAMSEC my Wolf AI package that I've got for my students too. It's going through BAMSEC. It's going through the filings, the most recent filings. So you're getting the most recent possible information. Okay, it's going through all the financials. And then I've got a small algorithm that we put together to score the dilution process, where you are right now, basically. And the way that works, look how cool this is. The way that works is basically the proximity to whatever instruments that they have to dump on you as a retail trader, um, how many shares they've got to dump, all the things that have been important to me over the years, over the last 10 years, fundamentally, I've put into one page for myself and one program and coding it so that it just does that, if that makes sense. How cool is that? So in this case, CJMB, we know that Alex Capital LP runs an active ATM with 5 million registered to sell directly into market. No strike, sells wherever price is. Okay. I know that's what ATM is, but I've programmed it to explain what that means to my students. Does that make sense? So that's basically what this is doing. It's saying, it's letting you guys know what it is. Okay. So there's in this case, when you get to CJMB, right? It's on your skin. Everyone's trading it. I also know, okay, well, what's the MO of the company? What are they doing today? Because there are likely prices they want to drive it to. This is no joke, by the way. And it's an amazing, amazing part of trading stocks as opposed to trading like the markets. And a huge part of carving out edge for me long in small cap has been actually understanding what I'm trading in the first place. Problem is, going through filings is a pain in the ass. It just is. Going through filings looks like if you want to go look at what that ATM entails, if you want to go figure that out, well, you got to go first to an 8K. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. So you got to go here. First of all, you may not have seen it, but you go to their news, which is an 8K. Okay, that's material news on a stock. This is what I learned to do 10 years ago, right? It's what I learned to do 10 years ago, and I've been doing this ever since, which is, okay, come here, go to the 8K, entry into a definitive agreement, blah, 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 on May 26th. So that's not long ago. They entered into, and it's just like 2 months ago, an at the market issuance agreement, right? Having an aggregate to 5 million. And I'd have to go in here and I'd press Control F and I'd find out who, where, when, how they can do it. I'd go look at the exhibits. And it would take me, generally speaking, 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes way longer, depending on how complicated it got. Okay. So now it's not. It's very simple, right? Very simple. I've got their shelf information here, a new deal they can price at any time. I know they've got these equity lines remaining. I know that there's still this ATM remaining. And that's based off of their last 8K, which I can go ahead and click. I clicked that and it brings me to the 8K, right? So I'm stoked about this new feature. Super stoked about it. Sorry, not just that, but I've programmed this chart that comes up on the supply map to actually map out where the warrant levels are for you so you can see it visually, supply and demand, okay? And the interesting part, as you go back through all these tickers over and over and over again, is you're going to go watch these days with volume like this. You can see that, yeah? Watch days with volume like this. Watch the warrant prices, right? They have now only, but they probably had way more back then, 64,000 shares to dump at when the stock price is $4.80. Stock crosses $4.80. Okay, fam? Smash the like if you like that new tool, by the way, because I love it. It's my favorite thing I've done so far. It's my favorite tool so far. Okay. Okay. Let's get back to trading. Oh, one hold on W buy so far. Enough to, honestly, enough of a one hold to have made 8 to 10% and walk away from a Chinese pump unscathed. And maybe get towards VWAP. Okay, that's the whole idea of that. We are, 40 minutes into the trading day already, so who's to say? I don't love it. I'm not going to personally trade it. Yeah, I'm still looking through that slinky. I'm actually cross-referencing with quite a few things myself. I could see W by having a nice little, but again, this becomes the idea for me regardless. Is PT1, especially Chinese pump, that's what PT1 looks like. So this is risk for sure at this point of the day. There's no not trading a buck. So I'm 1-to-1 to PT1 right now. And that doesn't work for me ever. Even on small scalps, I just don't do it. I don't plan the trade like that. It happens to me, but I don't plan the trades ever to be 1-to-1 personally. I don't do it. The only way I'd assume that might be the case is through highs, generally speaking. Okay, so if you need to put your little box there just to keep discipline. But I see right now a very lackluster scan at the moment, very lackluster. We've got EH Go as our top percent gainer. Nice push on SkyQ, but again, that's literally a breakout. Did cap bounce on LGCL. Hmm. guys 1 sec. Yeah. Nothing from me on Viv on that one. Viv K, nice bounce. It's a nice bounce day, more than you would think. Most Chinese pumps I leave alone on backside. Even if it bounces, I'd let it surprise me and then die. Right? Like, again, when you see this over and over and over again, the day that it goes to 9 and 10 is the day that they activate everything that they need to sell, generally speaking. And they might squeeze it all the way into the end of after hours, and then you might wake up tomorrow and it's at $2, right? From 10 or 15 or 20. It's crazy what can happen. Or it might be at 100 because shorts are being idiots, right? Gem pushing towards green again. Sure did, huh? Nice reversal. Kind of the makings of something that might squeeze, right? Pull shorts in the 5s and 6s, but I got nothing for it this morning. Wednesday, Tuesday? What's today? Thursday? Yeah, Tuesday, Monday. Tuesday was. That's how I know I'm getting older. Let's see. Someone remind me. I'll grab it. I got it. Don't worry. Chinese stuff, guys. Obviously. But I can tell you every Chinese play that ran after hours or during the market, I called before it ran. It's just a matter of okay, SLGB and VivK. Yeah. So VivK. Probably can just find the entry right here. Maybe on the 5. Pull this chart up to you. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix this really fast. Did that. It's annoying. Where's pre-market at, dude? No, it's not coming up here. But I got it in my chat here. Here was the VivK entry. Basically Sex Panther, right? But I was live with my students, and it had already fulfilled as far as it went, as I would have wanted it to. So I was just playing an intermediate bounce. That's all the idea really was 90-something% of the time when we see these stocks go parabolic, 2 to 7 specifically, and this is a strategy of mine, 550 holds so often, at least for a bounce towards 6, 7. And if it goes towards 6, 7, you have new shorts come in, and it's very, very often it goes to 10. It's a pattern, you know, but I don't like when it goes to 10 previous, right? Like if VivK hadn't gone to 950, in other words, before failing and then going to 5s. So this is on my 3K account, by the way. So it's only a 3K account, but there's no PDT. So I'm working through that to, you know, try to put myself in the shoes of our students. Yeah. So there was VivK. SLGB took a scratch on. Yeah. ADVB. What's going on with ADVB? Again, all of this action right now is first green day bounce, third day surge kind of action. You're watching shorts cover. Ultimately is what you're watching. Okay. It went to 10 2 days ago. It went to 10 2 days ago and 140 million in volume. Yesterday, right? It only did 5 million in volume. So what you're watching right now is the unwinding of the rest of that volume mixed with them dumping shares on top of you now at the end of the day. Okay. Does that make sense? Watch. Equity line, 100 million left to sell, no strike, sells rubber prices, converts at 20% discount. This is the cool language that you're going to start to see, understand, and be like, why the fuck am I chasing this stuff? There's big money is here. It's not big money. It's here. Right? The people who you're reading about that I tried to show you and unveil. It's not rocket science. It's just what it is. So these guys, RBW Capital Partners, LLC, their convertibles convert at a 20% discount above a 37-cent floor. Okay? The lower it trades, the more shares that they get. And supply shows up on any strength, right? It doesn't mean they can't run. It doesn't mean they can't run, but it absolutely accounts for what you see here in the price action, okay? Where you have a stock that goes to 9. How does a stock that runs from 4 to 9 close at 2? How the fuck? Okay, it's a scam. yes, it's a scam. But once you know the scam, it's the kind of thing that you can piggyback off of. And that's my whole MO, guys. Make sure that I'm not being scammed, but I am the scammer with them. If they're going to be scamming, I want to be like fuck, what are those little fish called that ride on like great white sharks and clean them? You know what I'm talking about? Remoras? Is that what they're called? I think off the top of my head. I could be wrong. But I think they're called remoras. And I think that that's what they're called. Right? Mm-mm-mm. What's that little fish called that cleans sharks and doesn't get eaten? Remora. Bang. What's up, son? You working or just scrolling? Shut up. Me? Oh, Cohen already. See, Cohen knew. What's up, baby? Appreciate you, Cohen. Okay, that's the idea. So by week's end, by the way, that AI system is going, our Wolf AI system is going to be integrated into your trading journal. Okay, which is sweet. So you'll be able to ask your AI questions about your trading, and it will give you statistics and all that good stuff, which is so cool. The other cool part about the AI that I've got on it is that I've trained it on small cap ideas that don't exist. It's not that they don't exist, but like if I use ChatGPT or Claude and I ask it certain things, you know, it still is going to feed me generic responses about how to trade small cap, right? In other words, like if I ask Claude to trade, it would say, no, don't trade any of it. Or if I ask ChatGPT or any of the AI systems, they are going to say, no, don't, right? In terms of small cap tickers, it's to say they're not viable, which is right for an investment. But every single day, they're the most viable in terms of volatility and tradability. Not always the most tradable, but volatility, definitely. And then when there's tradable volatility, forget about it. All right. So, questions. What you guys got going on? What am I missing right now this morning? Just the feels I get are feels of don't touch anything. It's all going down. It's Chinese Momo for the last few days that is petering out. We are open, by the way. If you're one of my wolves, you should be getting an email here right after the webinar with instructions to download the app itself. Okay. So to actually come in and download the app for your PC or for your what's it called? MacBooks or whatever you guys use. Okay. So you should be getting that. Because we're gonna wrap up here pretty soon. Or we could just stay. I don't mind. I got nothing going on. What do you guys got going on? We can just stay and, exhaust our opportunities. But yeah, it is, Justin. 100%. It's already there. I've just been testing it first. And then we're making sure that the security portions are robust because it's going to be dealing with your trading data, even though it's just uploads and, CSV uploads. And we do have broker integration for four different brokers that's going to be rolling out here in the next 2 weeks. So you can just plug and play your broker. The AI will you upload your trades, obviously, but you'll be able to just log into your broker, upload your trades, and then have full capability in the journal itself. Which is the journal I made overkill. Every statistic you could think or want, essentially. And then you can decide what you want to use. You know what I mean? If you don't like Kelly criterion, don't just ignore it. If you don't care about the EV on your setups, just ignore it. But if you care about any statistic or anything that you can manipulate data-wise, then you'll be able to. Yep, trade zero. We're talking to the people at Sage right now. That's actually who I'm using right now on this broker. So this is actually Sage Trader, and this is actually a 3K account. No PDT, full day trading. And I can tell you with extreme certainty that it is changing. It would have changed the game for me early on. Maybe not in the best way. But not in a bad way. Maybe not the best way, but not bad. It would have helped. It would not have not helped. It just would have been, I guess earlier on, I was just such a gambler. I would have tried everything all the time as opposed to only 3 times a week trying shit. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, one of the absolute blessings I can say of PDT for me was that while I was under PDT, one of my main strategies was overnight plays so that I could get more trades out of my weeks, right? If I bought some, I held it overnight and I sold the next day, was not a day trade. So I wasn't stuck on 3 trades a week. I was stuck on 3 day trades a week and I got around that too, to the point where PDT was relevant. As I grew my account, I then parsed some off into another account. I had 2 or 3 accounts, one with my wife as well. I had 3 accounts at E-Trade, one for me, one for my wife, and one for both of us, a joint account that I could literally move money back and forth between freely. So that's what I was doing. After cash would clear, I would then, I would have 9-day trades essentially, and I could trade every day that I wanted to overnight. So what I'm trying to say is that it helped my overnight skills. A lot of people are so afraid to be overnight, right? I don't have that. That's a main part of what I do, is take some shares into tomorrow if I can, right? When there's momentum. When there's no momentum, I'm selling at I am mean reversion trading, guys, and then getting the fuck out of Dodge because there's no edge for me once they've ran it big. Does that make sense? Once they've ran it big, I know that it's a supply issue that we're not going to overcome. That's why 3rd-day surges I deem to be a backside pattern. The only way I don't is if there are other circumstances that would make me feel like it, give me conviction that it's not going to be, that it's going to run through highs. And that's not too often. What do you think about Hi-Ho if it consolidates here? Hi-Ho. Hi-Ho. Whoa, yeah. Yeah. I bet you we see this higher tomorrow or next week, potentially, or midday today. This was actually one I wanted to grab some shares and sit on, believe it or not. I liked the daily on it. It's Chinese. It hasn't really ran. Got a cool ticker name. Hi-ho. Okay, here's the picture here, the big picture. Should be working, Sand. I'm testing them out myself. If they don't, you can also try PDF. The AI will actually, it's supposed to be, you should be able to get it. If not, hit the little bug button for some reason if you can't upload them, and we'll jump on it by noon today. I've got years of imports to come. I'm doing that myself today, so we'll jump on together if need be. Here's hi-ho. Okay. Hasn't really traded big volume. It did 150 mil. That's big volume, but that was back in December. It gapped up to $1.35, went to the 220s and closed at $1.20, right? But before that, nothing. Highway Holdings. A lot of these are just shell Chinese companies, guys. That being said, did some volume the last few days and didn't really go, didn't really break down. Didn't really go, didn't really break down. So let's give it the old once over. No registered supply on file in the last 3 years of SEC filings. Are you sure? So that's probably true. And you'll actually find that with Chinese plays at times. Okay? You'll actually find it with Chinese plays at times. And I don't trust it. That's a third-day surge on OMH. Okay? This is another third-day surge volume profile-wise. Did go 20 cents to $1.20. Okay? 20 cents to $1.20. Right here. That's one I saw. I should have. Did I take some OH? I don't think I did. I want you guys to see something. Okay. I am uploading the webinar, guys, for my pack members. I'm uploading the webinar from 2 days ago onto the site right now, and you definitely need to watch it. It's from Monday afternoon's webinar, right? that got me trading Chinese stocks and trying to explain to you guys what's going on. Okay. So these intervals match, right? These intervals match. And this is what I'm trying to show you. Okay. So let's see. Sorry, 1 second, fam. 13. Okay. Watch this. This is super fucking important. And it's a perfect visual representation of what I'm trying to show you. Okay. This is a perfect representation of what I'm trying to show you. And if you know what you're doing, it can provide some amazing opportunities. In other words, here is, and let me do one thing really fast. I just need to, just for teaching purposes. Okay. 1 sec. Let me grab and if you guys have questions at any point, holler at me. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry, Amp. Sorry, guys. Let's go. Yeah, I'll explain that. No problem. But let's get into this first because this is important. Okay. Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Okay. We got a ticker that goes berserk. It's Chinese. It goes from sub a buck, right? And at 11, it starts to go through highs. Okay. So you get this parabolic push at 11 into the fours. And this thing is now up 300, 400%. That is an outlier on the scan. Everyone sees it. What's that? It's an outlier. It's a big runner. It's a huge squeezer. It's a liquidator. Understood? Okay. So when this happens, right there, when that happens, generally speaking, I start looking for simps, or I've started doing that previously, right? Sympathy plays. Volume will go somewhere, especially because it's halting. Like when it went through here, it halted, and then it gapped up and it halted. So when it halted, my eyes immediately go to my scan, right? And I'll usually put it to like percent change 5-minute or percent change 10-minute or something like that. Okay. And in this case, if you go to OMH and we go to when this is halting up, and when does OMH start, in other words, right? Look, and my crosshairs are synced so you can see. Look at this. This is so cool to see, okay? Watch this. See that? Do you see where CPHI is? Okay. I hope that makes sense. Like, CPHI halted into 650. That's what ended up. That is when OMH started going parabolic. Volume flowed into that, man, which is crazy like that, but it is what it is, right? So at 1206, volume flowed in, right? Here's 1213, it goes 30 to 45 cents or so. That's enough. I already know when I saw this, I already knew what was happening. OMH, it's Chinese. I didn't even have to look at the scan, I believe. Okay, sub a buck. So in chat, 1113, another outlier with CPHI. OMH, Rando Chinese midday bottom bouncer, right? CPHI at that point was up 1,000%. When you have a ticker going up at 1K percent, 500, 600, 700%, yes, right? It is an outlier. So that's what we end up getting, right? OMH Rando. So that's the idea, is that if you're on it at this point when they're halting up to 7, simps start hitting, and there were 2 or 3 of them that ended up hitting. Okay, but this is where experience comes into play, understanding, and then I had to go do shit with my family and stuff because that's life. But look at that move. That's 25 cents to $1.25, 300, 400%. Okay, so I just wanted to illustrate that phenomenon. And there's no better way other than when we're live, or if you're in my chat where I'm showing you live, hey, look, this is popping off because of this. There's a reason that this popped off. That happened specifically right here because specifically CPHI was right there. Understand? Rick said CPHI was the simp for other Chinese pumps for ZYBT. Correct. Yep, correct. Which is why I said another outlier with CPHI. Another outlier with CPHI. Okay. Right? Which means risk back on long Chinese plays when they're low. That's what that means for me, at least. Understood? Also super dangerous in this environment to chase when they're high. Okay? So CPHI, look, it went from a buck, sub 1 to 20 intraday. And when I woke up the next day, it was at 2, I believe. Yeah, look at that. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing volatility, long and short. You don't want to be on the right side, on the backside of these things when they decide that it's time to dump their shares. They are specifically more ruthless on Chinese plays, guys. You won't see charts that look like this on listed American plays as much. They'll still look like that a lot, but that's because they, a lot of the other plays, they're not running it as much as some of like the shell company Chinese plays and stuff too. But not much for CPHI, just an equity line right now. ATM. Only 600K remaining. Okay. I'll get to your questions in a sec. If you have any questions, shoot, because I'm going to wrap up in like 10 minutes or so. Or I can stay on. I don't really care. Like I said. Oh, oops. Okay. Should have grabbed some hi-ho at a buck hold, I feel like. I still like it. Again, it's the kind that we'll probably see up tomorrow, but maybe it gives me one more shot at a buck. The idea is like if a Chinese pump doesn't work, I don't want to be at highs. No matter what. Okay? Okay. For anyone who wants to join the community, we're streaming every day live for the next probably 5 years for you guys. And we got a sweet deal going through the end of this month. We've got our launch deal going. Okay. So it is as cheap as you can get for all of this stuff. Plus mentorship, right? So links down below if you want to join up. It's good through Friday. But we've been closed for like 6 months, so it's good to see the new wolves in the room enjoying what we've created. Okay. Tame day, guys. One of those days. Do I think WBuy can move again off this buck hold again? Not really. I think this one's going to break down. Could it hold? It could. It's in 150 million shares today. It's in 150 million shares today. So at any point, if a big short or if they want to push and continue to churn volume, when you see 150 million shares going through a Chinese pump, when you see 150 million shares going through any ticker that's under $20 or $10 in general, small cap tickers or micro cap tickers, someone's running volume through it. So it's a matter of they're going to keep running volume through it or not. Are they just going to literally use all the rest of this liquidity because they have so many shares? And when you see it's like 20-cent stocks and 30 and 50-cent stocks, when they start to run, you'll notice this pattern of, well, they're toxic. They have dilution. They're toxic. They go down 30 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. Then they run them. Maybe 100%, maybe 200% usually. And then they fade, and most people don't really hear about them unless they go 500 or 1,000%. But it's a very common pattern. It's super, super common. Okay. Just be conscious of the time. It's 11, so we're getting in towards midday. A lot of shorts do like to cover midday if they've been shorting throughout the day. So this next hour for me is a decent time to maybe catch a bounce if I've been looking around or if I've not traded anything yet. But also, you have to be wary because it's potentially just a midday bounce. I love it, BG. I love it, Linda. Thank you, Scotty's mom. Appreciate you guys. It's only the beginning, too. It's different when you've got a trader making, features and not like marketing people. Comprehensive statistics in the new platform similar to Flash research. Yeah, we're going to get every statistic that you want if we can. Yeah. Like the ability to crawl and get data and stuff like that for your setups. Yes, that's in the works already. I'm doing that for my setups right now and beta testing the feature myself. What's up, chum? Anyways, yeah, the WBuy, if it holds $1, could totally go back to $1.20. Could totally go back towards like $1.30 or something like that. And that's all I would be looking for in something like this. And the cool part is like, if it doesn't work out, you got like a few pennies risk if I were to, which I'm not. I don't want to. Okay, it's already topped out as a Chinese pump, and momentum has been sucked out of the markets right now. For now, I will let one of these change my mind. Does that make sense? Look at your scan, guys. Did y'all get the point I was trying to drive home on CPHI? What I've been trying to drive home for years, really, but the theme of this year, which is when there are outliers, you must strike. After said outliers, it's a great time for probably a pocket of momentum, and once that pocket goes away, it's going to slow down again. Okay, that's the market that we're in. I've traded markets like these very wildly successfully, not money-wise, but time-wise, managing my time and effort and perspective, right? Which is, I'm not going to make $1 billion today, but I can make a few hundred or lose 50 or 30 and do my job. And then, let outlier wins start to surprise me, start to move price targets, or just wait for another outlier for me to then start to press harder again. Okay, or sector momentum or anything. So again, like what you're seeing in real time on WBUI is fundamental things, the fundamental nature of this stock at play. And because of that, that's why my perspective on this, if I were to trade it, which is don't lose more than a few pennies a share, control risk, and you're fine. Make sure I've got more than a few pennies per share upside. Keep it a single. They're selling into it. You're just playing for a little bit of a bounce. Ultimately, it's a short. Not down here. I mean, even down here, it's going to go back down to zero at some point, but you know what I'm saying. Short high, not short low. Sell high, buy low. Sell high, buy low. That's how you make money. Everyone's teaching you to buy high. Everyone's teaching you guys how to buy high. It's crazy as shit. Sell low. Buy low, sell high. But for real, this is low right now in context of where this has been. Very low, so I could risk a couple pennies. This is high, right? Low and high. And this is low and this is high. Like, keep it super basic for yourself. When you look at these charts, if you're new, If it doesn't look low, it's not low, right? Figure out how to buy low. Does that make sense? Which is why when CPHI is running and I say, hey, OMH is potential simp and volume starts to come in there, it's still potentially low when a simp starts to pop, right? So it's gone from 20 to 30 cents to 40 cents. And now it's back at 30 cents. It's not high necessarily. Okay. But even then, if it's gone from 20 to like 50 cents really quick, I need to wait for it to get lower for me to buy it. This is like the most basic mantra, like that flows within the veins of my body. Now, it is what I am made of, is buying low. Does that make sense? Like every fiber of me, that's what. So when, in other words, like when it goes through pre-market highs or high of day, I have almost completely killed that person. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. I got to sign for a package. I'll be right back. I got it, guys. All right. Anyways, I hope that makes sense, right? This is low. Even as this starts to push from a buck right now, 1%, 3%, 4%, 5%, you're up, right? Remember that when you're trading low price stocks. So yes, it's possible for me to get 1 to 5, 1 to 8, 1 to 10 to VWAP on this trade. It was possible. Right now, it's not. Okay. Raid. Totally. You guys enjoy the live sessions? If so, smash the like for me. Hit that like, and maybe what we'll end up doing is just pre-market prep every day. How does that sound? We'll just do pre-market prep every day on YouTube. We can do that. Yeah. We'll try to do that. We'll try to do like pre-market preps and watch list building and stuff. And we'll try to do maybe an hour before market open. And then I can get to my students and we'll live trade in the community. Sound good? So we can put an hour pre-market together, get truly ready for the day together, both our public community here for free on YouTube, and then trade within our private community when the market hits. Okay. Settled. Power lies. The paralyzed. Every day that I can. Every day that I can. There's that 10% right there on W buy. Shorts covering it. And again, enough volume, it can do that. But again, the idea on something like this, especially like that was low of day, would probably be, that would be PT1, that would be PT2, and I wouldn't have another PT, just so you know, on a Chinese pump. And it could go further, but that's the idea, right? Key levels, opening range, lows and highs, like the first 15 or 30 minutes is there. It's an important level. You see volume increasing into that level as well. If you see this little volume increase. So why is volume increasing and it's going down, right? Yeah, I know, but I don't trade to just trade, you know? It just is what it is. I don't trade to trade unless I need to for my trading. Like I'm not trading and I have some sort of like yips, like get the yips or kind of fear of trading for some reason, which rarely happens. Okay, there's that intermediate bounce on WBY. Again, the kind of morning where I would, if not here teaching you, I'm not here trading. I'm done trading already. Understood? And I'm coming back this afternoon to see what everything looks like. But on my scan right now, the top percent gainer is like 60, 70%, you know? A lot of people on here are trading for marketing. I trade to trade because I love trading. It is what it is. I'm a shitty marketer too. And I don't like marketing. I like teaching and I like trading. I love trading. So otherwise, yeah, I would have just like tried. I could scalp shit and be like, look, I traded. Look, mom, I'm a trader. Fuck out of here. Not you. I love you, but I trade to minimize the loss on every share that I can and to maximize the gain on every share that I can. That's basically what I try to do. And my trading style absolutely revolves around that idea. Max, you know, efficiency with my time and effort. Try to be at the places that will be the most explosive, and then handle risk well in those areas. If there are highs and lows, find strategies that revolve around placing myself near lows, whether that's front side, back side, working support, you know, taking profits religiously back into VWAP. And then when good markets and good times call for it, rooting into positions and size, which is only a few fucking times a year, guys, or a few years out of a decade. Does that make sense? In my case, I've been doing this 12 years. I've had 1 to 2 years that were like full-blown risk on all year. Okay, the rest of the years that of my trading have been somewhere in between and risk on big money trading a couple times a year. Select circumstances with huge conviction, where my movie that I've watched 1,000 times that's made me my money comes on again, and I've not seen it in a minute. That's what it feels like. Oh, my fucking movie's on again. You know? Like, remember back in the day, kids won't understand this, but back in the day, you were at mercy to whatever came on. Whatever the programming was. Remember? And you'd be like, "Oh, my fucking movie's on. Sweet." And you would watch it because it's your movie. That's what it feels like when the time comes for me to big money trade and make my fucking money for the whole year. Does that make sense? The rest of the year, it's just like regular programming. Like, oh, look, I like this show. Right? So maybe look at it like that. And that's what it's like for me, right? I know the beginning. I know how this fucking ends. And are there surprises? Yes, of course. But are those my biggest trades and best times? Yes. Do I have to force it? No. Does the size come naturally? Yes. I run out of buying power when this happens. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes or no, fam? Or am I talking to myself right now? Awesome. Are there ads? I'm not watching. What are the ads? What kind of ads come on? I think it might be different for everyone. What you been watching, son? Can we get some Blue Chew ads? I am a Blue Chew ad. I'm a Blue Chew replacement. Just look at me, son. And now calm down. Who needs Blue Chew? Just take a picture of me, put it in your pocket. Sorry, dude. I'll turn the ads off next time. I thought they were off. Stop it. You guys had another trading guy trying to sell you shit during my during my live? That's a fact? That happened? Ads, but they're pretty quick. I hope so. Can you skip them? I didn't mean it for there to be ads. I've made no money from YouTube, guys, just so you know. A lot of the people you see on YouTube, like, that's their career, you know, as opposed to traders. That's my fault. I should probably get that YouTube money, huh? I'll skip ads next time, guys. Don't worry about it. Nah, it's not the wrong screen. I'm watching this quintuple bottom on a W buy. I'm not trading any of this shit right now. PEHL did just go through highs, trying to approach pre-market highs at $1, but convertible paper converts at market with no floor. The lower it trades, the more shares they get. And supply shows up on any strength. Behind it, 2.9 million warrants at 110 to 357. Those ones are far out of the money. Expect supply at every push. Okay. Yeah. Is she okay? Okay, leave her then this morning. And I'll when I'm done, we'll talk and get her sorted out. Huh? Okay, so see if you can push it back a day or something. Yeah. Today's Thursday. Love you. Million warrants 342, 600K 357, 1.3 million 110. Right? So these are all in the money, got their shelf, and these are out of the money warrants. Okay, that's how this chart works. So you know, and that is exactly. I mean, even that's what you're seeing here, right? Price goes through. They have shares. They execute those shares, and it dies. That's what you're watching, by the way, in real time. Like you guys are watching the 1 minute chart. I'm watching the 1 minute chart, and I have these levels are not levels that you see when you guys are trading. They are levels that I know while I'm trading them, though. And I've known these levels. So these levels that I'm putting on this chart for you guys within our community, those levels have been vital to my trading for 10 years, you know? Not that, I mean, there have been some circumstances where, yeah, I don't want to trade it because of them, but it's more so to paint a picture. Okay. I'm trying to paint a picture as to, okay, where are they trying to push price? Right? Where are they trying to push price? Where might they start to try to push price and turn price? Okay. There are floors, there are ceilings, there are levels that are very meaningful when it comes to supply and demand. Okay. When it comes to supply and demand, there are, which governs what? Everything. Price. Right? So these levels where excess supply exists are super important to what we trade down here. Right? It may give you clues as to where they're trying to drive price if they're below. Like in this case, without these $1.10 warrants on AEHL, and without the toxicity, like if this were, what is their, sorry. If able, they might try to hit the 340s or the 350s. Does that make sense? Like it's at $1, but I don't know, come back in a few weeks and see if they can't do this. Do you see this day and this day and all of this, all of that? And then the precipitous drop. They might be trying to just get back there. You know, they don't need to get to 6. They just need to get to the 3s. Does that make sense? Okay. And then down. Does that make sense? Look at this chart, right? Execute and then down. 3-day move and down. 1-day move, consolidation and down. Okay? That's the history of this chart. I hope that makes sense. Really important. This one has toxics. This one happens to be toxic too. So with what they've got in place, you might see these guys at 0 at some point or 10 cents or whatever before they have to do a reverse split again and the cycle continues. Okay. So does it mean I'm not trading these things? No, it means I know what I'm dealing with. And if, holy shit, I didn't see that this went to 6 already. Oh, that's 1 day. Oh my gosh, I'm on crack. Sorry, guys. I'm not on crack. I swear. I hope this makes sense, fam. Okay. The more you see it, the more it becomes really dumb to buy through highs a day and breakouts and strength and chase these fucking things and then take big L's, or, you know, it doesn't make sense. You're playing a losing game. You're playing the game they exactly want, that these companies rely on, which is that you and me chase through highs and chase strength and chase these fucking things around so that they can sell into them, which is why you guys are going to keep watching price action. People are going to keep selling into it when you're chasing through highs. And you're like, what the fuck? That's what you're seeing. Okay. You're watching in real time, right? These guys still have $33.6 million worth of stock to sell. That's how many shares. They've only done 38 million shares today, which is a lot. But 38 mil on an equity line, that's at 80 cents. It's even more, right? Shares than it's traded today if they just dumped them all. So that's the idea, you know? It is going to absolutely give you edge in and of itself, over yourself. But certainly next to the Joe Schmo to your right and left, and Sally Sparkles. I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay. They're still just watching the charts and the numbers and the price and whatever and getting pissed when it fails at high a day, and they sit there like a deer in headlights while, you know, it goes down, and then they sit there and hope it's going to go higher. Well, what they don't understand is there's a supply and demand dynamic that shifted at certain areas of the chart, and it's not the same fucking thing. It's not the same ticker that they were looking at before. It's actually fundamentally changed, and there are invisible areas where excess supply happens. It just is what it is. It's not fake, and it's not, you know. Yeah, that's actually our app for my community. It's our app. Yes. We've got our own. I built a scanner for everyone. Supply map. We've got a robust trading journal in there. Trading AI assistant. All my webinars, live webinars, library, paper trading, back testing's on the way. You name it. Every tool you could think of, one spot. Actually, here. I don't know if I still have it or not. We might not. I'll just throw this up too if you guys want, because I'm wrapping up anyways here. There you go. That QR goes straight to the sale, by the way. That is the cheapest price right now. By the way, we did a pre-launch for some of my oldest members. But this is our official launch sale. There's only 8 days left on it, I think. It's the end of the month. That price goes away, and then it'll settle at $150 and $250, which is still cheaper than everyone else's stuff, except you get $1,000 a month worth of, trading tools. That's only growing. I'm adding tools, refining them personally, and with a team of 2 or 3 people now. We might have a third coming in to help me. So, if you're newer and you were wondering why this keeps happening to me while I'm trading through highs and stuff like that, well, hopefully now you have a little bit of an explanation as to why, all right? Or a very, 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 very solid explanation as to why. All right, guys? There's an entity who has millions of shares, and they need to get rid of them. And to get rid of them, they need liquidity. And where is there the most liquidity? Through highs of day, right? First thing in the morning when the market opens. So that's why And I know, by the way, that's why on a lot of these tickers, like you're going to see these huge pre-market runs, right? And then sell out the gate. That is where they're probably, not probably, where they're definitely making the most money, the biggest bang for the buck. If I was sitting on 30 million shares at like 20 cents or 30 cents on AEHL because I'm a institutional investor for them or something like that, right? And I want to get rid of 10 million this morning. Well, I'm going to do it right into the open, you know? Appreciate you, Benny. Appreciate you, TH. Love you guys. I've got a video coming out. We're hitting YouTube really hard this year, the rest of the year, in terms of just video lessons for you guys and stuff as well. So we've got quite a few things coming out explaining a lot of this stuff too. Yeah, you know what? 90% of the time, right, Z? Like 80, 90% of the time, most of the charts are going to close lower than they open. They're going to be more towards their lows of range of the last 24 hours than highs, like, and then there are pockets where that's not the case, right? But even the pockets, now the hot pockets, it's like third day surge, there's a rest day in between. There's some more nuance for sure. NVVE, it's something where it's like when I see it on the scan, I don't care anymore because it's backside, at least in my mind. See? Yeah. Can it bounce? Yeah, could. Do something funky, totally. It is doing that. Like it's already gone 5 to 8. That's, in my mind, like best case scenario already, right? Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It's you can see the float, the spread here is wide and thin. Okay, meaning look how it's trading, right? See how wide and thin spread, bid and ask are wide apart. Price moves in 1 minute candle, a price goes 770, 870. In 1 minute, it goes 850, 720, right? So illiquid, illiquid. It's liquid right now, just in terms of what it is, but it's tough spread to trade. It's going to move freely. And then at the end of the day, moves like this, because they're backside, at some point hit this invisible wall of supply, of people holding the bag. Okay? People holding the bag. So anyone who is buying any of this is underwater. And when this gets back up, to anyone who is buying in this span between $10 and $7, right? This consolidation for like $3 consolidation for however many days, 5 days, it becomes a sell zone. So it's not that it can't go higher. It can. This is absolutely somewhere where if you're a short seller, you're waiting for this. You're like, this is a good move to short, a backside move to short the fuck out of. Does that make sense? At some point. Which also means it can go higher, but backside. So I'm not chasing it. That makes sense. Hope it just rips. I love when things rip. It gives us more to trade at the end of the day, right? Anyways, if you scan the QR code above, you can hit that, join the community. You won't regret it. I promise. Yeah. It's asinine. Okay. Yep. I'm going to walk away, fam. That's it for the day for now. I'm going to come back at the end of day, power hour. All right. For my wolves, I'm going to see you guys in the room right now. The app is ready for download. So we are pushing that out to you guys so you guys can get the app, which is fucking awesome, like the desktop app. For your iPhones and Androids, that's going to be probably 3 more or 4 more days. Okay. And we've programmed that one so it's special for your phone. It doesn't have all the capabilities, but it's got most of them, and it's just a little bit more intuitive. So if you're on the run, you can access what you need to access. And that's that. All right. So again, if you want to join up, hit that QR code above or the link down below. Basically, for the price of most people's mentorships, you get mentorship plus scanner, the supply map, trading journal, my watch list, paper trading, which actually goes straight into your trading journal, which is cool. Which you have a paper trading journal, which no one's doing. It's so cool, by the way. All right. So it gives you the ability, even if you have very small amounts of funds, or even if you just want to test a setup, like forward test a setup and have it be and get statistics from it without having to, to try to make it more meaningful for yourself. You can try setups, you can paper trade them, and then watch the statistics actually occur in real time, as opposed to trying to back test without. And one of the issues with backtesting is that backtesting, it's very hard to take into account market sentiment. It's hard to take into account if there was an previous outlier the day before, which I'm actually starting to nail in now with what we're able to do with, data and stuff like that. But really cool. Okay. So join us. It's early on. The price is going to go up, and the community is going to grow, and then we're still ground floor right now. So, all right, fam. Have I got videos of supply map? No, I just released it yesterday. I just released this feature yesterday. I was testing it for a week or so, and cross-referencing it across against actual filings and stuff like that. But I'm going to. And I'm going to make a YouTube on just scanning in general and all that good stuff, so you guys will have it. Because there's a lot of BS on scanners and all that other stuff. A lot of people are trying to sell a lot of products in our space. You know what I mean? AI this and all that crap. The scanner's not magic, The magic is in your mind and your processes and understanding of what we're trading. There are cool tools, like there are tools that help. Like I'm absolutely using this for every single trade prep now going forward. I'm using this tool for every single trade prep. It'll be part of process for me going forward. It's actually going to be the first place I go, just to go check out the filings, because it will give me a visual representation of what I'm dealing with at the moment. It doesn't mean not to trade them, right? They can run. But it does mean when this is opening up in the buck 30s, and I know that they've got a bunch of convertibles that, very toxic and stuff like that. And then combine it with my technical analysis and tape. Okay. People, how do you watch level 2 with the right lenses on? Does that make sense? How to watch tape with the right lenses on. I'm not watching like, oh, they're buying and selling. Who? How much? Where? Right? Like, what are they trying to do? Where were they trying to get it? I see these levels on the chart. I've been seeing these levels on the chart forever and ever and ever. Right? This and this, the convert floors and the basis, resale basis and all that shit has been on my mind as part of my process for a long time. Right? So now at least it's even faster for me. I can just go look at my chart and I'm done. Okay. I am also wiring this just so you guys know. So this chart populates on our scanner when you go to do your research on tickers. Okay. I'm going to have it I'm having it so it populates here too for you. Okay. Just so you can see. Oh, nice. It's already on the full, but it's going to, I'll have it populate as the main chart from now on. Okay, there's your PAVS interactive chart, but here's your supply map as well. Okay, make that bigger. Okay. Fucking cool. Anything to take my processes and speed them up, I love personally. Okay. I am showing my DAS. Sorry, guys. Whoops. No, I'm not. Or now I am. Either way, doesn't matter. Because we are going to get rocking. All right. This is what I was talking about. Yeah. So for those who are already in it, if you go to the scanner and you go to like the full stock page, the supply will show up there too. And if you want the full picture, you can just go here. Or if you're doing your prep, you can have your scanner open and just go through it. Also, what we're doing is just whatever the hot tickers are for the day, those are going to end up on the hot list. So you don't have to worry about it. And the cool part is if one of our members came in that morning and did their research on the ticker, it doesn't then have to repopulate the filings for that ticker for that day. Does that make sense? So it's kind of cool. It's not kind of cool. It's really cool. And you're going to know, there it is. And you're going to know that it is the most recent, at least it checked today, the most recent filings, which I can't say the same for everything, for all the other places. Like the most recent. Okay. I have also, just so you guys know, populated our app with 3 different news companies that you're going to start seeing popping out this afternoon. We are going to have a bot within the chat, and then on your scans, and just for all of our data, it will be as fast as anywhere from our testing. Okay, so breaking news and stuff like that will start popping, and you'll see those alerts in chat too. Okay, stoked about it. Fucking awesome. Another buck hold for now. WBUY, right? You see how much volume they're just churning through it. If they really wanted to sell more shares too, they could push this through $140 and watch what happens there, right? More like so much volume will come in. Shorts have to cover because the game is not longs and it's not us versus them. And they are using us. They are using short sell volume. They're using all the volume to accomplish their mission, which is dump all the shares and leave without affecting price too much, which means if it went from 1, this is the way I interpret it, because this is the language that these companies use on their own bios and their own about us and their own trading teams and all that stuff, like your H.C. Wainwrights and Maxim and all those people, is just that. Okay. All right, fam. Much love. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm going to catch you guys in chat here in a few. Everyone stay safe. I love you. Always have. And we'll catch you for pre-market prep tomorrow. that's the, if you want to find stocks that don't want to dump shares for a few days, you got to invest in big cap. You have to invest in good companies that don't need to do this. These companies do this not for fun. They do it because they need to do it to stay alive. And to me, the power and the edge in small cap lies in that need. Understood? That's where so you don't want a stock that doesn't want to dump. You want a stock that wants to dump, because to dump, they must pump. All right, my friend? So, but the key is then once we've, okay, they want to, let's figure out where, when, how many shares they have to dump, where, when, right? Which is in the filings. Or, I've created this tool. Once I have that information, now I'm armed with full picture, that plus technical analysis and fundamental analysis, the float size and stuff like that, paints a nice little picture of what I'm trading, what part of the cycle of pump and dump they're in. Once I know that, I can start to play big picture games, go to the daily chart. Well, when they're on this day of the move, the patterns come from these guys doing this. It's not, the patterns come from algos, and the patterns come from HFTs pumping volume through small cap tickers and shell companies that most of the time don't trade anything, but today are the most liquid vehicles and the most volatile vehicles in the market, in any given market. Every day is in small cap still, right? So it's understanding big picture. It's understanding what part of that pump and dump cycle they're in, and really putting yourself in the shoes of the companies themselves, okay? And of the people running the dilution, Like if we go here's a great example, but here's our top percent gainer right now, which is LGCL. Here's one of our top two. This is one of top two, by the way. There's HC Wainwright and there's Maxim. You're going to keep seeing these names over and 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 over. They run an active ATM with 20 mil left to sell directly into the market. That means they have $20 million worth of shares on LGCL that at any point they can dump. Okay. Which is why when you go down to my supply ladder, you'll see that at $1.60, where the price is trading, this is ATM territory. They can sell. Okay. Does that make sense? So Maxim, this group, they run an ATM. They've got all these shares to dump. New deal can also be priced at any time because they've got $1 million shelf. Okay. Maxim. That's what's happening. So here, and just so you know, what does that mean to me? Well, it means if I buy one stock right now, if I buy one share of this company, say you own one share of the company, okay, and because you suck at no, I'm just kidding. But say you own one share of the company at $1.30, right? And you go to sell it to me at $1.62, and I want to buy a share at $1.62. There might actually be someone in front of you who has 1 million shares, and when I go to buy that one share from you, he drops one out of thin air. Nope, boop. He jumps in front of you and sells me that one share that wasn't in rotation yet. Does that make sense? Now there is another share that wasn't being traded in the float. And they do that with millions of shares. Millions of shares, guys. So physically, like think about it in physical terms, if this is the vessel that you're trading, right? And everyone's trading this vessel and it's a small vessel, and that's why price is so volatile and it can move really fast. We can go far and fast. Well, as these companies like Maxim dump shares into the market, right? Like right now, what you're watching right now, see those big flurries of dumping? They are dumping shares just like that. The float, this thing that we are trading, is literally growing. It's growing. There's more shares, right? It cannot move as fast. Tomorrow, people come to trade. You want to trade it in a week? This is why I say I only have a there are only certain periods of time I trade these things, because you come back in a week and it's not the same thing that you were trading a week ago, right? It's bigger, it's slower, it's more cumbersome. The tape will reflect that. This tape will be more bid, more ask, thick, like a big cap, which is why big cap stocks don't, now they can move in range because they're higher priced, but they don't move that much in percentage. And that's on purpose and by design. The more shares in the float, the more stable, but also can't move upwards as fast, which is why they're going to dump all the way to zero. And then they got to do a reverse split and then it can move again. Understood? I really hope this makes sense. The basic fundamentals that guide what we do here. All right, family? And no one else is out here telling you these things, at least to the newbies. So my job is much more so, is not so much show up, look at my chart, YOLO some shit through high day. Like even that LGCL buy right there is dog shit in our markets. Why? I just told you why. Look at the volume through high day. Look, biggest volume of the day. Biggest volume of the day since the morning, which I also told you where they like to dump shares. That was a Michael Jackson point. Who saw a Michael Jackson comeback coming? Holy shit. Hee hee. Make sense, fam? I'm going to jam. If that's the case. I loaded y'all with a lot of knowledge today, just so you know. Key knowledge. Important big picture stuff that if you don't know, you're trading literally blind, guys. Literally blind. If you don't know where the shares are being dumped and how and when and where, there is excess supply everywhere. It's like red flags. It's right, landmines everywhere. And when you know where they are, you're playing chess and you're starting to develop edge from a fundamentals standpoint. Okay, because there are edges, many things go into that. Okay? But this is a big part. Know what you're trading in the first place. No one knows. They come down, they get slaughtered buying in areas like this where everyone else buys. How do I know everyone else buys? Look at the fucking volume there. And it's, guess what? It's not just longs chasing. It's not just Billy, you. And it's shorts who shorted out the gate this morning. It's shorts who shorted here in the $160s, expecting capitulation. There are shorts who literally were shorting through the high a day. And then there are shorts who pile in here. Okay, fam? So we're playing a game. You, me, retail longs, retail shorts, institutional longs, institutional shorts. I'd like to think of institutional longs basically as the pump and institutional shorts as the dump. I'm not going to just shorting. I never have. Just shorting to me isn't smart either. I mean, it's okay, but there's so much upside to be had with such little risk and such amazing risk-reward profiles. There are some markets that if you don't know to long or how to long, it sucks, okay? Also, if I'm solely shorting, then I am playing with fire every single day, all day, like real fire, like blow my account fire every single day, unless you've got some serious stop guards in place, right? Your A++ setup is also probably the most danger you're going to be in all year. Every time, right? You're trading something parabolic and nasty and has ripped and, you know, and then hopefully you can manage risk. I love long. I love the risk profiles. I know how to treat markets where I'm only getting intermediate bounce back towards VWAP, and I know how to treat markets that are chaser markets. So I'm going back to shorting, but I've never been solely short. No, I just haven't been shorting, but I am short like I am shorting, and for the first time in history, okay, people with small amounts are able to short. I've not seen this. Okay. The short selling game used to be a big money game. That's why I got into the longs first place, because I did not have big money and I stayed in it because it worked for me. And why am I going to change it if it works? Does that make sense? Marco, spending a lot more time trying to build plays around being there before the pump rather than trying to snipe the right spot intraday. I feel you on that. And that's a great way to characterize that for sure. Okay. That's been the game I've been playing for a long time. So I love it. I love it. And keep that mind open, guys. I'm teaching you what I know, but keep your mind open because things are changing. Anything I say today could be fucking irrelevant in a week. I swear to God. Any setup I have, I know through over the last decade can go away forever. Or it might go, I might deem it to be gone forever and it's back for some reason tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's how things work. It's cyclical in nature. And you have to understand that about your setups and your playbook. I have a lot of setups that I know are more coin flips, but happen every day. Day one gappers, gap and crap reversals on small cap happen every day. Right? To what efficacy though? And I'm pushing and pulling on my trading based off of also that the cyclical nature of, okay, that setup, it occurs every day almost, but is it working more? Is it working less? Is it getting, are reversals going to VWAP and then high a day? If so, on what? Am I trading that? All of those sorts of questions, right? Start to just keep playing in my mind 24/7. Where am I supposed to be? Is this still relevant? Is it not relevant? Am I trading yesterday's ideas, right? When no one's left at the playground? Or is it a third day surge and everyone was on the playground yesterday and they're all fucking gone? In fact, there was like 500, 250 million shares there yesterday. There was like, millions of people trading it for some reason yesterday. And then today, no one's here, but I'm here, right? Because there's also shorts sitting around like to cover. I need a little bit of volume. I want to be there with those shorts. Like, ooh, shorts need to cover. I'm going to go hang out where there's no one there, but I know there's shorts there, and I'm going to go sit there in the winds, wait in the wings with them too, right? Till tomorrow. And then if it starts to spike, they need to buy it, right? And I can sell to those people like a little, fucking wolf, baby. All right. All right, my friends, I got to roll. Everyone stay safe. Much love. Again, our sale's open through the end of this month, and then that's the cheapest it's ever going to be again. It'll never, ever be at that price. Okay, it's just our launch sale, and it's not even a public sale, really. It's just for my peeps on YouTube, and that's it. All right. But hop in. I'm making it the most robust trading community platform on the planet. Like, I am adding tools every day, but I'm testing them ahead of time. I'm doing this 24/7, by the way. This and raise my kids right now, barely. I'm here 24/7 for you guys. We're adding everything that you've ever needed at a price that is undeniably amazing. And I'm so happy about it. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for your patience. I love you guys. I will be here every morning for pre-market prep that I can. And we're going to schedule out all of them per week if I'm going to be live on Sundays. So there will be some days where I can't do it. It just is what it is. Those days will not be on my YouTube schedule on Sundays. Does that make sense? So when you show up to do pre-market prep with me here on Monday mornings, which will be an hour before market open, the schedule for the week will be on my YouTube. And then if you're in my community, it'll also be within our schedule, which you're going to see our calendar change here shortly with our fresh update. Okay, we got app download coming for you guys as well. So you guys are going to be, if you're a member already, you'll be getting an email for that. And we roll. Slower morning so far. Protect for now. Singles for now. Chinese momentum has died off a little bit. Do I still recommend watching Trading Tickers 1 by Gertani? Yes. If you want to watch, if you literally want to put yourself in my shoes right now, and Trading Tickers too, by the way, if you want to watch the guide, like the however many hours, 15 hours or whatever, that changed my life forever, watch that. Every idea I've created has stemmed from that basic, the genesis of what I discovered watching him trade live in that video. And his commentary on risk management and shorting opened my eyes, because I wasn't short selling. It opened my eyes to what I thought was the other half of trading, which was like, oh, because your lens is what? Okay, we're humans, so the lens for me is like, oh, yeah. Sorry. The lens for me is, okay, I'm gonna sell you these scissors. I have these scissors. I bought them, and now I'm gonna sell the scissors to you, right? Because I bought them and I own these scissors, and now I'm gonna sell them to you. And it was still kind of foreign, like how someone can just like sell the scissors without owning them and then buy them back, right? So instead of that, like, I don't own these scissors and I sell them to you first, and then I buy them back for cheaper from you somehow. Does that make sense? So, watching him do that, and then specifically how he managed risk, set a lot of my ideas in motion. Okay. One of the foremost ideas being buying sub VWAP. Because the idea then became, I'll never forget, it's one of my favorite stories, driving around with my wife, and I'm watching Trading Tickers on my phone, and it finally hit me that when I'm buying, let's say, like potential breakouts, for example, he's shorting them. So he was selling shares to me as I was buying them into resistance areas, or when breakouts would fail, or whatever else it was, parabolic shorts into resistance specifically. Like these areas I was so excited to buy in, he was selling. That blew my mind. Z-Nerf. So, watch it. Enjoy it. But I turned to my wife and I go, oh. She's like, what? I thought something was wrong. I go, you know what? I've been buying Tim Gertani's fucking shorts this whole time. Aha moment. I told myself I'm not going to do that again. And then the question became, and then I think somewhere along the fourth or fifth time watching that thing through, it dawned on me like, oh shit, okay. So I don't have enough funds to short sell. I can't open a short selling account. But I need to clearly sell where he's selling to and buy where he's buying, because if he's buying there and he's one of the best shorts in the world, then I can buy where he buys, and it should go up because a bunch of shorts are going to be buying. So this whole supply demand notion was like really, really, really weighing on me. I started to think about it in a different fashion, in other words. Like, and the problem I was having was everyone then and everyone now told me not to buy down there. They still do it. You know who would probably agree with my fucking strategy and my ideas in general? These guys. Right? They'd probably be like, damn, yeah, I agree. We sell there too. We buy there too. We sell there too. So much love. I love you guys. Stay safe. Get up in the community. It's growing again. I'm super stoked. Use all the features, report bugs if you're in it. You can just make sure that you're reporting bugs for us too, because it helps. All right. Everyone stay safe. We love you. We will catch you guys tomorrow.